Welcome back, everyone, to Classic Games Done Quick. I'm your host, SmoothOperative, and I just wanted to say a big thank you to our subscribers and our Twitch Prime subscribers for making this hotfix content possible. Classic Games Done Quick has been so fun so far. And up next, we have Adventures of Lolo from Rayeo. So, Ray, if you're here, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Smooth. Welcome, everyone. Good morning over here on the East Coast. And I'm just going to go right ahead and start it up. And timing will actually start on first movement. So I'll count down when we go.
Okay, just let me know.
Yep. Okay, so here we go. About 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, begin. Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to the Adventures of Lolo. My name is Rayeo, and I'm going to be traveling with you for 50 levels to save Lala from the evil King Egger, sorry. And pretty much in the game, the point of the whole game is to collect all of these hearts in various ways, dodging certain enemies throughout each level. In the game itself, there are only 8 actual enemies throughout the entire game, and they all have different uses. Like for this level here, we have 2 enemies, a Snaky which just stands there, and a Leaper who will go in a circular fashion, and it'll keep moving until it touches you, in which will be put asleep. Right there, I waited at the beginning because I wanted to manipulate that creature to go back over the bridge. Pretty much this game, for anyone who's played it, knows that this game has 0 RNG. The entire game is based on manipulating your enemies, as well as just precision movements. Like here, usually you're supposed to block these 2 snakes, but that's not fast enough, so we're going to let them chase me. But you have just enough time to get through. The snakes will always follow you, for up to a certain point. These enemies here aren't dangerous. They go in a clockwise or counterclockwise fashion around the level. If you are standing underneath or above them, they will chase you. If you're beside them, they will stop. And already right there, we're already past the 5th level. Coming up soon, we're going to meet the more difficult enemies in the game, the armadillos in this one, who will constantly chase you no matter what. We buffer our movements there just so we can get the armadillo to chase us. When he's in that ball mat fashion, he will never break stride until he hits a wall. Medusas are probably the second most dangerous enemies in the game. They will kill you if you are in line of sight if they are not blocked. That's why here we have to block him here. Now comes the first big trick of the game, is the Dawn Medusa skip, which will help us save about 10 seconds. So let's see if I can get it. Oh, and I messed up because of the input error. That's the biggest issue you can have with this game. It can kill a run, is just screwing up an input. Like there, it's the second time I've done it. If I don't get it this time, I'm going to do the safe route. I can't get it today. Nerves are getting to me. Okay, screw it. We'll just heck with it. We'll go around. We'll play it the safe way for now. Because usually there's a small window that you can actually bypass the Dawn Medusa's blades. It's a very small window to get it, but I would have gotten it all those times if I didn't input my error, because the entire game is based on half and full tile movements, which you'll see soon enough can save you time or cost you. Like coming up here, the trick with this level is that you're supposed to cover all of these skulls that you see there that are sleeping. But for this row, what we do is that we let them roam free, and since they follow their own path, we're going to try to egg that armadillo with half a block. And the skull, as long as you stop for a small moment, will go down to the bottom. Now, luckily, the third floor is a more relaxing stage before the fun really begins. And this is going to be one of the times where we're going to use the manipulation to help us. Because because we're going to use this skull that's over on the left side to the middle, where I'm going to egg. We're going to use him to help us get the chest up to the top. He will be our block. So he will always follow us, say halfway, go up, and we are good. Yeah, it's very tough to explain what's going on in all these levels because they're so short and everything goes by so fast, so I'm going to try to focus on more of the bigger levels that will be happening later on. Okay, here we're going to, again, use manipulation to help us with the leapers. We're going to quickly go to the left. We're going to sleep that guy. We're going to go up here, wait for just a second to make sure that leaper will go to the left side. If we didn't wait, he'd go right up the middle and block us, forcing us to having to restart. Again, this will be the first of 2 levels where we are going to see why these skulls are not really that smart. Because I'm right there ready to be taken, and he just runs away from me. So who knows? In here, the big thing we're going to do with this level is that we are going to manipulate. We're going to have the dragon in the lower left fire off a shot, and since his flames go past the bushes, we can get out of the way. They can only shoot one at a time, so it's easy to fake him out, wait for the flame to go up, and then go past him. Okay, this is the first level where I need to focus. So I'm just going to focus for 1 second. I'm missing these shots way too easily. Struggling. Yeah, luckily with game overs, it doesn't matter. You go right back to the last level. Yeah, I'm struggling on these tough strats. So I'm gonna play it safe here. Because there is a way to get the manipulation. Oh my jeez. Ha! Okay, we'll just take it nice and slow. Because usually if you do it correctly, you bypass all of the Medusa shots by a couple of frames. So we'll just forget about it, move on. That's probably one of the harder levels of the entire game because there's not a lot of room for error. That was always one of my biggest run killers. And then we'd very quickly just finish the level of ourself. Okay, this level, the only important thing we have to do here is we need to block this skull. It's probably the only important thing here. Because he will kill you if you're not careful. Okay, here, now for 4-4, we're gonna see another good manipulation with the good coding of this game. Because one of the key things in this game is the fact that these Medusas cannot kill you if you're halfway in an egg. As you just saw there. You saw early in the level that it killed him without a problem. But in the code, they put it that if your body is halfway in a egg, you are completely fine, no matter what. And just like that, we are now done with floor 4. Saying these levels go by fairly quickly. I should probably get to the door first. Floor 5. Surprisingly, one of the easier floors in the entire game. Hardest thing, biggest thing here is just knowing how to push the blocks out of the way. Once you know that, it's pretty simple. And there's not much to mention about these floors. They're not very memorable. Though the one thing I will be able to talk about is the the arrows, because they are going to become more prominent as the run goes on. The arrows themselves, you're allowed to pass them from any of one of three directions. The only direction you are not allowed to walk through an arrow tile is the opposite direction in which you're walking in. So that arrow that's up above, I cannot walk it from this direction. But any of the other three directions, I would be perfectly fine. Okay, so the big thing here I need to remember is I need to make sure I egg these two skulls. So we're going to take that very slow and then just blow that skull away. Alrighty, now on to, as I call it, Key West with all the water and bridges. Always got to grab that egg first. Now the big thing here is that once we get that egg, we just go in a pretty much a counterclockwise fashion. And then lastly, using both of these power-ups, which I forgot to talk about. In the game, you're given, in certain levels, power-ups. Basically just small ways to help you get through the level. You can either get an arrow changer, which we haven't seen yet, which will allow you to change the direction of an arrow. And hammer, which you saw earlier in floor 2, that allows you to destroy these rocks. And then ladders, which allows you to just create bridges over water. Halfway done through the game. 5 down, 5 more to go. Now the real run starts. Floor 6 is probably, to me, was always the hardest floor. Because there's a lot of small things that can go wrong. Like floor 10 is the hardest. It's the longest and hardest. But there's a lot of small things here that can mess with you. Right there, we're going to do another one of those half blocks, I mean. Yeah, the other thing you have to pay attention to in this game is when to know when you should half block, because in this game, you can block an enemy by half a tile, and no matter what, you're safe from them. Like right here, I'm gonna half block the Medusas, and they will not hit me. And then again, I'm gonna do it again here. This time I have to do it. No matter what happens, I have to half block both of those Medusas, because there are not enough blocks in the game, in the level, to block it with. Okay, here's probably the second biggest run killer in the game, 6-3. This one is basically just keep running. Because we need this leaper to be at a certain point, so we don't put him asleep, and then we need to fake him up by going left to right, and quickly get around. We're going to go for the 2 hearts up top, and then we're going to have to manipulate the leaper again to rotate back to the left. If we keep moving, we are safe from the Medusa's wrath. Sleep him next to the Medusa, quickly get the heart, get the jewel, and continue on. Now, for this level, I actually learned a pretty... I don't know if it's known. I never saw it in a run. But what's pretty strange is this, right here. You push that Snaky halfway, and he doesn't reset back into the water fully until he gets down below. So that actually saved me an extra probably 2 seconds when I learned about that. So that was a big time save. And then finally, as I call it, global warming. Basically the entire level is water. So we're gonna block this Medusa. That was the most important part, was getting that block underneath the Medusa, because you can walk too far. And we come back over. Most important thing here is to blow that egg away, because in the game you're only allowed to have 1 egg in the water at any time. All right, floor 7, probably the easiest late floor in the game. I always call it blink and you'll miss it. This level takes about as long as the first floor does, at about 1.5 minutes. I'm gonna play it safe. Yeah, this floor is actually simpler than it looks. It's just busy, but as long as you just know the 3 things there, it's a pretty simple level. Okay, here the first thing. We're going to take these bottom two dragons. It's very important to block the Medusas. Now, the most important thing here is actually to egg those. If not, they will kill you the second you try to get that chest. And here's probably the only level you're gonna see the arrow manipulations really in use. Here we go. The snake will just follow us, and now for probably my favorite level because of how the skulls in this game aren't very smart, as you will see. The original playthrough, you're supposed to take those 4 blocks and cover these skulls. But why do that when they just give you a free pass to the chest? Okay, there we go. On to floor 8. Here we go. 15 more levels to go. This is the level where I used to start shaking back in the day when I was having a good run. Because it wasn't often I was getting to this floor, so... Here, one of the important things here is just how to push these blocks in the right space to be able to move this block underneath the Medusa. We do a half block there just so we can save frames. That's the biggest thing. Since there's no RNG, it's all just based on trying to limit the amount of, as I call it, block movements that you have to do. So if you have the ability to only have to use half a block to block an enemy and be safe, you do it. Okay. Here now, all we're gonna need to do is we need to push 2 extra blocks down below, which forces us to actually bring 1 block back up, then get the last remaining free block, bring it back down. We're gonna cover the Medusas, don't have to worry about the dragons, and we're good. Yeah, and one of the big things they have to remember is there's 50 levels, so it's hard to do all these levels by memory, and it's only recently that I've started doing these runs without the help of a cheat sheet, as I call it. Before, I used to have all 50 levels in front of me to see, but recently, since playing for so long, that I'm now able to do the entire game without any help, and it actually has helped. It actually helped incredibly because I don't have to constantly look away from the game screen. It took a while to get used to it, but once I started getting used to all the difficult levels, I just kept giving myself memories. I started remembering it, but just by giving myself keywords. And then once I got more used to it, it just became second nature. So for this one, it's more or less just constantly moving and knowing what blocks you need to push. Okay, I pushed that a little far down, but that's fine. So basically, we're just going to want to have 2 blocks out below at all times. So then now we're going to push the last 2 blocks down. Got to push that to the right once so we can push this guy down. Now we block the Medusas. This heart. Block the last Medusa. And we're good. Floor 9. 9-1, as I always call it, is the Sonic Audition. Basically, Lolo back in the day wanted to test out to be Sonic, so he made a level where he just had to run as fast as he can. He didn't get the job because he runs at a consistent pace and never accelerates. So he had to settle for 2 more sequels after that. Here, we're basically just making a zigzag pattern. We're going to go through the first 3, then basically do the same thing, but we're going to go all the way to the right side. Because we want this section to be last, because it's the only place to get through. We want to go to the right so we can get the two eggshells. We want to egg these 2 dragons as they're the most dangerous. fast enough, you get there before they hatch out. Alrighty. Here, gonna try a trick. See if I can get it. I'm gonna cancel out the dragon's flames with my 2 shots. Okay, got it. Good. In here, we're gonna do the sexy strut. Pretty much what we're gonna be doing is doing a movement that it's timed perfectly, that when I get the heart on the bottom, that snaky will reappear the second I get the heart, causing me to not get harmed by the dragon, while at the same time being able to immediately fire it and get it. Because I can wait there and it's not gonna change the time, but at least then I know when to shoot. So now we're going to do a bunch of half blocks. And there we go. Time for the final 5 levels. Okay. The most difficult floor, obviously, it's the last one. Here, the big key is just being fast enough, and I already messed it up, so I'm gonna play it safe. See, the big thing is that you need to push, where I just pushed that snaky, there are 3 specific locations you can place them and be completely fine. So since I already messed it up, I'm gonna play it safe. Because where I put him is probably in the middle, like the second safest location. And you'll see why in just a moment. Because pretty much we're going to allow these skulls to roam free, but the thing we do want to do is cover the sand, so the skulls cannot get in there. So we're going to go up, go around, I'm going to block that skull. And since I pushed that snaky where it was, this skull will be far enough away and I do not have to worry about it. If he was half a tile up, he would be right behind me. Alrighty, this is Praise Be with 10-2. This was the biggest run killer for me for this shot right there. And we got it. Excellent. Okay, good. I'm still going to play it safe here. Okay, good. Good. We got all 4. Now, we're not out of the waters yet. I need to fake out this dragon and shoot him before the dragon has enough time to fire a second shot. Okay, that was good. See, there's 3 levels left, but I always say that there's really only 2. Because the last level is more of just a congratulations, you beat the game type of a level. So I do say that, and I have died on the last. Okay, so I pushed that egg all the way to the edge just to give myself some extra time to get back. Okay, so now we're gonna wait. We're gonna play it safe and wait for the dawn to go back up to give us some extra time. Okay, then the final rail level. Here it's really just knowing where everything needs to go for the quickest time. So we're just gonna push this next to the heart because we want to time everything correctly for one specific moment in the level, which will be coming up soon. It'll be right here. So the next time he hits this rock, we kill it, and this snaky will come back, will reappear just in time. Alrighty, time for the victory lap. Last level. We're going to block him, shoot, deflect that shot. We're going to half block so that dragon cannot kill us, and time will be once I enter the door. So get the jewel, get to the door, and done. And there we go. Lolo has saved Lolo once again. Oh. Alrighty, I want to thank everyone who came by and stayed up late to watch this run. I am very humbled that you did it. and thankful for everyone I'm putting this together.
It was an excellent run. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. The last run of the evening, F0, is coming up next, so stay tuned.